Hey friends, Shay here. So, this is the beginning of my Love in the Night readathon reading vlog. So, it's actually September 30th right now. I've kind of finished up everything that I wanted to get read for September, and I am so ready to dive into this readathon that I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in. I'm actually having a pretty bad mental health day, and so I'm thinking diving into these things that I'm excited about is going to be a good thing for me. So let's chat a little bit. I have started Fire in His Veins by Ruby Dixon because I had finished the previous one. So I'm just going ahead and diving into that right now. Really enjoying it so far, having a good time. This one is the most unique one we've come across in the series thus far because our Draconi male had come through the rift on two legs, not his four-legged dragon form, and so he basically cut himself off from the rest of the Draconi race to try to pass as human because he was in his two-legged form, and he's been hiding out in this fort for a long time, but he's kind of scented his mate there, and he's really, really attracted to her, but he can't tell for sure because he's been cut off from his senses so long, and his love interest is a girl named Andrea. We know her from the previous couple of books, and she got a bad reputation in a previous fort where she kind of had to sell her body to pay for food and things for her younger brother. And so she's very cognizant of what other people think of her. And so it's been a really interesting journey. Her younger brother has just kind of run off. And so her and Liam, her name's Andrea. So Andy and Liam are going to go off on their own to find her brother, Benny. So I think that's going to be a good one. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm I'm 5 chapters in. I think I'm on chapter 5. I can't remember right now. So, but I kind of am done listening for a little bit. So I thought I would dive into some physical reads. I think I'm going to start with Cat Slayer by Christine Feehan. I really like Christine Feehan writing. They're kind of comfort reads for me. I know a lot of people find a lot of her stuff problems. Almost all of her heroes are very alpha, but I don't mind it. It's a trope that doesn't bother me like it bothers some people. I don't mind that kind of a dynamic as long as it's done in a respectful way, and I feel like Christine Feehan's always are, where the men truly worship their women, and they can be domineering to protect them, of course, and the women usually have to teach them where that line is, because some have different lines. This is a leopard shifter romance, so I'm excited about that. That feels like it's going to be good. And I feel like if I need a break from that, I'll either go back to the audiobook or I will pick up Kaiju Girl, because this is just really sweet. So if that one starts to feel too heavy, I think this will be the right balance for it. Yes, she shifts into a giant kaiju here, so she's basically like a Godzilla girl, but it is done in the sweetest way humanly possible, and I love it. So, with that said, I think I'm going to jump into Cat Slayer and just kind of chill out. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, so it's not like I'm spending my whole day reading. I'm waiting to hear back on a phone call of when I start my new job at Barnes & Noble. If you're unfamiliar, I recently got hired as a bookseller, just as a part-time gig, again, to kind of help with my mental health. So, not knowing my start date with them is kind of stressing me out. My anxiety is not playing very nice. I mean, I didn't sleep at all last night, and I ended up reading a crap ton of manga. Check out my wrap-up. I'm sure it will be up by the time you guys see this video, so check that out. Basically, I read a 9-volume series between yesterday evening and 2 a.m. And then from there, I read the first 8 volumes of another series. It's just a moment that I had and a moment I'm having. And so I did get a little bit of sleep this morning, went out, did some errands, but now I'm done. I just need to chill out, let my brain focus on something else that's exciting and fun to me. I tried getting into a game for a little bit. That didn't quite work because I play Minecraft with my husband. We have a private server. And so I was in there and I was really excited when I logged in, but that lasted about 15 minutes. So I think diving into books that I'm excited about is going to be the answer today. So with that said, I'm going to jump into Cat Slayer. Once I know a little more of the specific plot, I'll come back to you. Or if I choose to pick up Kaiju Girl because I'm not feeling Cat Slayer. I do have a bunch of Kindle books that we can choose from as well. I do not think I'm going to do the Black Dagger Brotherhood over these next few days. That might change. But right now, I think those are going to be too heavy for my mental state at the moment. So definitely not today. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting rambly. I'm going to go read. Hello, good morning. How is everybody today? So today is officially the first day of Love in the Night. Yes, I did get started a little early last night, but I'm okay with that. Clearly, I'm still waking up. I slept in. I'm catching up on sleep because I had a couple nights this week where I didn't really sleep well and my body just could not wake up this morning. I slept through my alarm and everything. So I'm glad I got started last night. So I'm about 100 pages into Cat Slayer. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Cat Slayer now. So we have Katrina, Catriona, or Cat Benoit. She's been on the run from a man named Rafe. Like, she says his name pretty early on, so we know Rafe is the man she's running from. What we learn later on in this first quarter, obviously, is that he is leopard. She is also leopard. So he came after her for a specific reason, and it's not okay. Through all of this, she meets a man named Ridley, who has his own secrets, and they start to become connected, I guess you could say. But then we see in this first quarter that Ridley has betrayed Cat in a way that is very unforgivable to Cat. And Ridley's name isn't actually Ridley, it's Eli. And he had his own reasons for doing what he did. They feel stupid once you see it, but it's going to be really interesting because he's in protective mode because of the betrayal and what that means. But at the same time, is trying to grovel in his own way as well. So I think it's going to be a really interesting thing because she's coming into her leopard. And when that happens, the women feel a certain way and that leads to very steamy things happening. So she's starting to get there and he's trying to be sweet and nice to her through it. So we'll see how this happens because something just happened that I'm not 100% sure how I feel about. So anyway. I'll tell you more thoughts as I go, but this is one of the older ones. It's kind of in the middle of the series, and I've been reading them in reverse order. So, I started with the more recent ones and worked my way backwards, and this one's feeling the most troublesome that I've read so far. But yes, so I'm 100 pages in, so I did get a little reading done last night. It took me longer to get to sleep than I wanted it to last night. But anyway, I'm going to get back to reading. I do have some cleaning and stuff to do today, so I'll probably pop over to my audiobook for a while. Might need to go for a drive. At the very least, to go get me a big drink to get me through today. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And, this is a super chill readathon, and I want it to be chill for everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and keep reading, and I'll chat with you guys more in the next clip. I might not come back till I'm finished. I don't know. It depends on if it gets crazy. So we'll see what happens. Hi, friends. So I got some cleaning done. I got some errands done. And in the process of that, I've got about 2.5 hours left of Fire in His Veins by Ruby Dixon, which I am still thoroughly enjoying. I really like this Dragon Shifter series. This particular one is the most unique of them so far because Liam, our Draconi, came through the rift in his two-legged form, so he didn't lose his mind like the others. And so now he's grappling with does he want to take the risk of opening up his mind and turning into his dragon form to check if Andrea is his mate at the risk of losing his sanity? So it's been a really interesting thing. Andrea has her own problems and struggles as well. She's still very young. So there is some immaturity in Andrea's thinking and decisions. But, you know, maturity was thrust upon her whether she wanted it to or not, because she lost both of her parents very quickly after this apocalypse-type rift happened. So it's, again, interesting. I don't love Andrea as a heroine so much, but Liam is very interesting. So I do think this one isn't going to go above a 4-star for me, but that's okay. Like, I'm still enjoying myself, and that's the most important part for me with paranormal reads specifically, because they're not always going to have tropes I love. Like, they just aren't. So I have not read too much more of Cat's Lair, but I don't really feel like physically reading at the moment. I'm really enjoying the audiobook. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grind some materials in Minecraft, hop in there for a little bit, kind of chill out, let my brain rest a little bit while I listen to more of Fire in His Veins, and then I will kind of go from there. And I'm enjoying it. Things are starting to get smutty with them now. They're trying to walk the line of how far is too far, where Liam doesn't feel like he's going to lose his sanity. And so, again, it's been kind of interesting. So I will come back once I've finished something, whether that's Kaiju Girl Caramelized, whether that's Cat's Lair, or whether that's Fire in His Veins. I don't know. So once I finish something, I'll be back with you. I'm assuming it'll either be the volume of manga or Fire in His Veins at this point. Okay, friends, so I finished 2 things since we chatted last, and I changed my shirt. So, first up, Fire in His Veins. I actually really liked how this one wrapped up, because it did get to a point where Liam had to go into his 4-legged form, but it wasn't for Andrea in the way you think it would be for Andrea, and it ended up being very enjoyable to me. And the next one, again, I think will feel very different, which I do have downloaded. It's Fire in Her something. So this is the first time where we're having a female Draconi and a human male. This one has been teased throughout this entire book as soon as we met the male in question for this book. So that's going to be my next audiobook that I go to. But I am really continuing to enjoy the series. Andrea started to grow on me. She still has some growing up to do, obviously, but she did start to grow on me throughout the book. And she did start to kind of calm down on some of her really stupid, immature thoughts, which was nice. The other thing I finished was Kaiju Girl Caramelized Volume 4. I love this adorable series. Basically, we have this young high school age girl who transforms into this Kaiju Godzilla type character when she's overly excited and around her crush. But her crush has the thing for the kaiju because she actually transformed like in front of him in the first volume. And so they have this ongoing crush on each other, and he's totally okay with their kaiju side, and it's adorable, and I love them. The end of volume 3 was quite the experience. So getting into volume 4 and kind of seeing the fallout of said experience has been interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see where the rest of this series is going to go. So yes, highly recommend. Perfect pick for kind of spooky season if you're like not wanting something necessarily like spooky, because, you know, you're dealing with this kaiju shifting girl just trying to live her life, and it's adorable and I love it. So if you're looking for something more like cutesy, then this is a great Halloween pick. If you're participating in Fall Into Manga Love, this is one of my recommendations. They'll be coming out in a video soon, so do know that. But yes, I adored this very, very much. And I'm really excited for the next volume to come out. All right, so it's kind of late afternoon now. My husband should be getting home from work relatively soon. And I'm not sure what our plan is for this evening. So I may just read a lot more Cat Slayer because I have that right here. At the very least, I'll be reading till he gets home. Still haven't heard from Barnes, so I don't know what to think or how to feel. Might give them a call before I dive back into this one to see what's up, see if we know anything or whatever. So, excuse you. That's my chair. Why are you in my chair? On my blanket? Huh? You gonna move? You're just gonna tuck in more? Nerd. Okay, so since Kaladin has decided to steal my reading chair and my blanket, I relocated downstairs to my love seat and a different blanket. So, Sanguine. I just read it. It's adorable. It's really cute. This former priest propositions this vampire to let him take him out on a date because he saw him, like, having a sexy feeding time with somebody else. And the priest is adorable and shy, and this is just a really sweet, really cute, short story about a vampire and a former priest. And it's adorable. I don't want to say anything else because it's so short, but yes. Honestly, it's worth the dollar you spend to get it. It's a great time. So, I've been thinking. I think I want to give the next book in the Leopard series a chance and see if it was just that book or if it's the early parts of this series that I'm not going to like. So, I'm going to give this one a try. We'll see how it goes. If, 150 pages in, I'm feeling like I did on the previous one, I'm just going to be done with the early books of that series and just keep up with the more recent ones and find something else to read. I've got plenty to pick on my Kindle, but I kind of want a Leopard Shifter. And I really enjoy this series. Like, that's the first book in the series I haven't enjoyed. So, I'm going to give this one a try, see if it goes better. But, 3 books on the first day, that's pretty solid. So, 3 completed, 1 DNF. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check in with you guys tomorrow. I'm just going to read tonight. So I'll be reading from my audiobook if I don't feel like physically reading, or reading Burning Wild. So that's the plan. I'll check in with you guys in the morning, let you know how I'm feeling. If I end up DNFing Burning Wild tonight, you might see me again tonight. But otherwise, I'm going to chat with you guys later. Hello, good morning. I'm still in the same sweater as yesterday, but I'm a miserable, grumpy mess, so I don't think you'll see much vlog footage from me today. But I did start Burning Wild last night. So this one. And it's going much better than the previous one. I think that was just a one-off book that wasn't working for me. In this one, we have a hero who is still, like, possessive in his own way, but he's trying to approach it very differently. And so over the course of the first, 100-ish pages, we have like 2 years of our couple spending time together, in a much more casual way, not a forceful romantic way. And basically in this one, he's basically been manipulated his entire life to behave a certain way and do certain things, and certain people wanted his leopard from him. And so he hid his leopard for a long time. The only person who knew about his real leopard was his grandfather. His grandfather basically, when he passed away, he had him all set up to protect him from his own parents because they wanted nothing to do with him. And they were emotionally, physically, all types of abusive. This is all in the first chapter, so I'm not spoiling things here. Basically, they wanted him for a certain reason, and it didn't work the way they wanted because he hid his leopard. And so, yeah. Anyways, he's now an adult. This woman who got pregnant on purpose was trying to manipulate him into marrying her, and he's like, no, that's not how this is going to work, but you are going to give me that baby. And because she wasn't a trustworthy person. And in the process of getting the baby mama to come back to Texas where he lives now, so that he could make sure that she was healthy and that the delivery was safe and everything. She was like drunk and with some other guy, and they get in a car accident and they end up both dying, as well as the car that they run into. The husband and wife duo of that car pass away as well. He ends up saving the woman. He didn't have enough time to save the man. So the whole premise is, our woman, Emma, I believe Emma's her name. Let me verify that. Yeah, Emma. So we have Jake, and Emma and Jake, they're connecting. Basically, their leopards are connected, but they don't understand that that's what's happening. Because Jake's not been around enough other leopards to truly understand that that's what's going on. And Emma has no idea that she's a leopard. Because for the women, their leopards don't surface till their adulthood. Basically, their cycles have to match up the leopard and the woman before the leopard surfaces. So for some, that happens really young, and others not so much. But in this one, she has no idea she's a leopard yet. Basically, he's left with this baby. The baby survives, but Emma is already attached to the baby. His name's Kyle. And so Jake convinces Emma to come to Texas with them, and he would be paying her to be the live-in nanny nurse. She was also pregnant at the time with her husband's baby. And so he's like, let's do this at least until your baby comes. Then we can kind of reevaluate. And they've been really comfortable in their situation for almost 2 years now. So from here, it's going to get more romantic, methinks. And I'm really enjoying the setup for all of this. And I love that it doesn't feel super rushed like some of the other books in the series do. Like, this one's very different, and it's a good kind of different. So I'm enjoying it so far. He is very protective of her, and that's okay. Like, the way it's coming across isn't like stupid, I guess. But yeah, he's trying to respect her, give her time, even though he's very infatuated with her, and it's good. I'm enjoying it. It got to a point where the type was too tiny in that one. So I did jump onto my Kindle for a little bit, and I started Kitty Cat. Basically, there's this pride where they're constantly being attacked because it's a smaller pride. And the beta of the pack, they basically have a seer, and so they're trying to avoid a really horrible situation where they're going to lose everybody. And so the beta just randomly puts out this thought of, oh, maybe she'll let us stay there for a minute. And the seer perks up and says, that one will work. Because everything the alpha has been throwing at her to possibly do didn't work. And so now they are basically going to this refuge kind of place. Um, and she has just been lying low. The people in town know she's a shifter, but they're comfortable with her because she just lives a normal human-esque life in town. And she works and owns a bakery, I believe, is what it is. Ooh, sorry. Took you on a ride there. It's good so far. The alpha and this girl are having some feelings for each other, so it's going to get interesting. I'm not sure which one I'm going to jump into, but yeah. Hello, so I'm back. I've clearly changed and gotten ready for the day. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I did get some reading done. I just finished Kitty Cat by, I believe, May Sage is the name of the author, and it was just fine. It didn't do anything wrong. It's just a 3-star average shifter romance. It was pretty predictable. It's a first book in a series, so it's very info dumpy. I don't know that I'll pick up any more. I think there are way better shifter romances out there. Like I said, it didn't necessarily do anything wrong. So if you're interested, pick it up. But I think the general consensus is it's just pretty standard when it comes to a shifter romance. I mean, I got it for free on my Kindle, so I'm not mad about it or anything. I didn't pay anything for this book. I just downloaded it to my Kindle and read it, and it was fine. Again, it didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, I don't care to really carry on, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. I did get a little bit further in Fire in Her Eyes, and I'm really enjoying the dynamic on this one because this is the first time we've had a female dragon. And, like, the guy knows that he has to find a way to challenge this dragon because he wants to help her. And so he's really sweet. I really like him. He's very much a caretaker. He was an EMT and all those kinds of things. So I really like him as a character a whole stinking ton. So I am thoroughly enjoying this one a lot. Right now, I'm pretty much set up to do sprints with the other ladies I'm hosting with. If you didn't get the memo, Crystal is just really super overwhelmed right now. So she's not going to be joining us this round, which is fine. We still love Crystal. We still love Tamika. They're always welcome to come back and join us. Like, they were kicked out. There's no bad blood. Everybody's just busy. And life is crazy. And I know Crystal was sick a couple weeks ago. Tamika's got a lot going on with her family right now. And so, like, these women are always welcome to come back and join us for any round that they so choose. I don't think I'm going to pick any new hosts or anything because I just really like our group and don't necessarily want to add someone to the dynamic and have the dynamic change. So just know that everybody's good. Nobody's mad at anybody. Life happens. Not everybody's going to be able to participate every round. And I mean, we only do rounds twice a year, so it's not too bad. But this one just stacked up for people, and it just wasn't as good of a fit for those two, which is fine. Again, nobody's mad. Just want to clarify that there's no bad blood going on, and everybody's good. So, during the sprints, I am going to focus on Burning Wild. I am enjoying this much, much more than Cat Slayer. Cat Slayer was just not the book for me. He was not the hero for me. So, in this one, Jake is a very, very broken man, and you see him soften and learn subconsciously how to behave with Emma. And so it's basically, they've known each other 2 years now. So I'm really excited to see how they take it to the next level, because it's almost like a friends to lovers situation now because they've been relying on each other for so long. Granted, he's had romantic feelings about her the entire time. And I think she's been at least attracted to him this whole time in a way that she was never attracted to her fiance that she lost, or her husband that she lost. Sorry, husband, not fiance. And I believe she's about to come into her, like, period of time where her leopard will come out. So I'm really interested to see how this next portion of the book will go. And yes, it's going to be a good thing. I'm really, really excited to see where this one goes. But yes, so this is going to be the focus for the sprints. And I'll come back after the sprints, tell you anything exciting that happened. Because hopefully something exciting will happen by then. But after I finish this, or if I need a break from, because this one's pretty tiny type, if my head needs a break from that, because period headaches suck. Then I'm going to pick up Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. That's the other book that I really want to get done during this readathon, because all of the other hosts have read it. Everybody loves it. I'm the only one who hasn't read it. So I need to catch up to my girls, to my friends, and get this read. So again, very excited. Hi. So the reading sprints are over. I'm now like 270-ish pages into Burning Wild, and I'm enjoying it much better than I was enjoying Cat's Lair. They have finally been intimate, and it was a little more forceful than I wanted it to be. It was consensual. He made sure that she was consenting to what was happening before moving forward, which I do appreciate, but it still felt forceful. And that didn't feel so great. But they're kind of talking through the whole situation now. Because, you know, her sexual experience before has been very, like, milquetoast in comparison to what he did. And so he was really intense. His leopard was riding him hard. And, yeah. So I'm going to work on finishing this tonight and tomorrow morning. Once I finish, I'll come back, we'll chat. But the live show was really fun. Izzy was reading some wacky gargoyle short story, and so it was fun to hear her commentary on that. And as always, it's fun to just get together with the ladies and chat, so I'm really excited. It's going to be good. So I'm going to work on this, and I'll come back when I'm finished. Hello, happy Sunday. So I've just finished Burning Wild. It's a solid 4. It got a little too over the top by the end, but I was actually okay with it. Basically, the vulnerability between Jake and Emma in letting each other in was really important to the story. This one's not as steamy as a bunch of the other Leopard books, but story-wise, it's one of my favorites because Jake had a lot of healing he had to do on his journey before he could fully let himself be with Emma, and that's what this book is all about, and it was beautifully done. He was in an abusive home growing up, and so to see him find a way to let somebody in was a big deal, and I really ended up enjoying this overall. So, not my favorite in the Leopard series, but still a really solid entry. I've also gotten more into Fire in Her Eyes. They're officially mated at this point, and so it's really interesting because the way she thinks about the world and like her responsibilities in a relationship are very different than what we've seen from our male dragons, obviously, and it's been really good. Like, I really like that she wants to be his protector. Hunter wants to take care of him, but you know, he still has to dominate her because that's what makes her happy. And so their dynamic is just different from the other stories, and it's really, really interesting to me. So I've really been enjoying that as well. So I was saying on the live stream that once I finish this, I wanted to start Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. So that's going to be my next book. And that will most likely be the last book for this because I do my first day of work at my new Barnes & Noble job tomorrow. So I don't know that I'll have time to read more than Wolf Gone Wild. So we'll see. If I do, it'll probably just be one of the short novellas that I have picked out, or more audiobooks if I can get to them easily and quickly. So that's what's going on there. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. I don't know if I'll update any more today. Sundays are like my chill day, so um, I've not been doing as much reading. I did a good chunk of that reading last night. And it's like almost 2 p.m. here, so I'm just having a chill day. Okay, so things got a little sidetracked with my reading. I have yet to start Wolf Gone Wild, but that's okay because I finished 2 things since I talked last. So, first up, I finished The Merman's Kiss, which was one that I've had on my Kindle for quite a while. This one kind of went around the romance community for a minute, and it's pretty good. I gave it like a 3.5 star. I didn't necessarily do anything wrong, and I found it interesting that it was kind of like male seahorses, where males are the ones to care for the children, but the mermaids, instead of the mermen, just were little sluts sleeping with whoever they wanted and all that kind of stuff, and not claiming a mate, but the men mate for life. And so he has been avoiding mermaids for a really long time, and then he ends up mating and bonding with a human woman who was going through a really tough time and was intending to commit suicide. So that is a trigger. Please know that that is present, and it is talked about fairly prevalently throughout the novella, just because it was her state of mind at the time. She had lost a baby. Her partner that she was with at the time was not sympathetic at all, not a very feeling person. She was out for 5 days after she gave birth to her stillborn, and he cremated the baby and spread the ashes before she woke up. So she didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. And so it caused a lot of problems for her. But this merman is really sweet. He keeps being afraid that she's going to leave him because she's human. But they end up finding their way together, and it's really sweet. And it's pretty steamy. They're going at it fairly often. So do know that that's present. But suicide and idealizing suicide is a thing, so do know that that's present. That's kind of why it was a 3.5. I didn't necessarily love how suicide was talked about, so just know that that's a thing. The story itself was sweet enough, and well written enough. And then I did finish Fire in Her Eyes, which was really sweet. I really liked Tiva and Gabe. I thought their relationship was super sweet, and this one definitely felt different. Tiva remembered some things that others didn't, and some things like that, and her influence was very different than the influences on the male dragons. The female dragons, she called like her madness her belly fires, but hers were very, very different, and it was very interesting to me how that was different. So if you've read any of those and you haven't read beyond like the 3rd one, I do think the further in they do get better, and they differentiate from the others better. And like I said, this is the first one we had with a female dragon, and so that was really well done. So yes, up next is Wolf Gone Wild. That's what I'm going to be working on tonight. I'm not going to vlog anymore tonight. It's like 8:30. I'm going to get in my comfies and just get ready for bed. Tomorrow's day 1 at Barnes & Noble, so I want a really good night's sleep. So I'm going to work on kind of winding down for the evening at this point. So the hope is to get Wolf Gone Wild done by the end of tomorrow. If I get anything else done, great. If not, I've still done amazing over this 4-day period, and I have 0 regrets with what I've read. And, you know, it's all been pretty good. You know, it was all pretty much what I expected it to be, and some of it better, which is just fine. I'm still sad that I had the 1 DNF, and I am not including that in my total books read. So I think right now I have 7 that I've completed. So if I finish Wolf Gone Wild, that will be 8. And that's really amazing for a 4-day stretch, because I really didn't read much on Thursday night. Like, I opened it up and I got started on stuff, but I didn't really get very far into anything. So most of the reading has been over the 4 days, and I'm okay with that. Hey y'all, so I just stopped to get some lunch before I start my first day of work for Barnes & Noble. This is a new thing. This isn't necessarily to make tons of money kind of job. This is more for, like,
my mental health and to have some more flexible money for things like travel, conventions, all that kind of stuff that I want to be doing more of next year as the world starts to kind of calm down and settle down as we figure out the world state of things. But I did want to quickly check in with you guys before I dig into my lunch and let you know that I'm 14 chapters into Wolf Gone Wild right now. I'm adoring this. I understand now why everybody is so obsessed with Evie and Mateo. Mateo is a great werewolf hero. I really like him. Basically what's happened is some sort of hex has been put on him where he can't shift into his wolf form. So he's stuck in his human form. But that causes problems because now his wolf side is actually much more vocal in his mind and trying to push its way out. And so he goes to the Savoy sisters, and Evie is the one who's able to help him. And obviously there's a fated mates thing happening here, but everybody's denying it. And so it is so good so far. I'm really enjoying it. The chemistry between Evie and Mateo is top tier. Absolutely love it. I do plan on finishing this up tonight. So I know my husband wants to do like a celebratory dinner out kind of thing tonight. So I'm hoping that I'm able to get a good chunk more reading in.
Hi, hello. So I did change my shirt once I got home. My first day of work was fantastic. I felt at home there, and I am really excited. I do work again tomorrow. So, yes, all I can say is I'm a happy girl to be working at Barnes & Noble right now. But with that said, I need to tell you guys my final thoughts on Wolf Gone Wild, which I love and adored. It was so good. I love Evie and Mateo so much. Highly recommend. This one kept my attention all the way through. It was hard to put down. I read it on my break. I read it every chance I got. I got there a little bit early, so I got a chance to read a chunk before, because I went back and forth between my Kindle book and the audiobook. And I do prefer the audio, but it was so good. I really highly enjoy it. Highly recommend. I understand why all of my fellow co-hosts love it so much. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's been on the long side, but let me know down below if you participated in anything else that you read, or just tell me what things you're looking forward to reading during spooky season. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.